Hey everyone, I'm Joel on the road, and today my UNESCO World Heritage journey is at the historic city of Toledo in central Spain. Toledo is one of the most famous and important cities in all of Spain. It's been very important to the Romans, to the Visigoths, to Muslims, to Jewish people and to Christians over its 2,000 years of history. And it was also the capital of Christian Spain during the Reconquest for about 400 years before the capital was moved to Madrid, just about 60 kilometers away. Now behind me you can see the Cathedral, and it's a beautiful mix of Gothic art along with Islamic touches and even a couple of Jewish bits in there as well, which is very interesting to see. So we're going to have a look inside. I'm really excited to go check it out. Now this is the interior of the cathedral here in Toledo, and it dates from around the 13th century, not long after the area was reconquered by the Christian kings. Now it's quite wide for a cathedral because it was built on the footprint of the mosque, and although very little of that building survives, just a few columns and things like that. But it is very interesting to see all the relics and artwork in here. There's a couple of pieces by Raphael, by Hoya, by Velasquez. And there's also a lot of cultural tradition too, mixing of Jewish and Islamic artwork and tradition in here as well, which is really interesting to see. Very unique. Now behind me is one of the most remarkable buildings in all of Toledo, because on this side it's a mosque that dates from the 10th century and perhaps even a little bit older. But on this side it's a church where the Christians after the Reconquest in the 12th century added an apse containing, Gothic painting and sculpture and the usual stuff. But on this side it's still got the Islamic arches and the red and white colouring that you can see in the Grand Mosque of Cordoba and places like that. It's just incredible to see it come together in such a beautiful way in one building, and for it to still be here after 1,000 years, perfect. I love it. Now this is the Jewish quarter here in Toledo, and it's one of the oldest and most important part of the city. But the Jews were all expelled from here in the 16th century, though their legacy lives on, particularly in the quarter, but in the synagogues as well, which still litter the place. We're on our way to see the largest one now, which was converted into a church, making it a very unique building. So let's have a look. Now this is the Synagogue of Saint Maria the White, and it was built in around the 11th century, or perhaps the 12th, we're not quite sure. But what we are sure of is that it's an amazing example of how the three different faiths in the city could combine and work together, because this was after the Reconquest. It was ruled by Catholic kings. It's a synagogue for Jews, but it was designed and built by Islamic architects and builders, and it was them who gave us these beautiful archways that you can see behind me. Unfortunately, the Jews could only use it for a couple of hundred years before they were expelled in the early 15th century after a bit of a rabble-rousing sermon by a Dominican priest. But the building itself is preserved, and these days it's debatably the oldest still standing synagogue in Europe. But I think the best part about Toledo is just exploring, enjoying the history and feeling part of it. It's a magical place, and although it's very, very busy with tourists, My number one tip for this place is spend a couple of nights here and just immerse yourself, because once all the day trippers have gone back to Madrid, it's very, very quiet here in the evenings, and it's really easy to lose yourself in the history. Well, that's it from me here in Toledo in central Spain. I'm Joel on the road. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next World Heritage site.